This is dominating Howie Roseman's plans this offseason, my friend. The Philadelphia Eagles have just confirmed another addition to their roster, bringing in a wide receiver who, at only 25 years old, still has a lot to prove, and arrives hungry for recognition. We're talking about a player who, over 5 seasons in the NFL, has already accumulated more than 2,274 receiving yards, and has passed through 3 different franchises before landing in Philadelphia. The question everyone is asking right now is, could this change of scenery be exactly what he needed to finally establish himself as a high-level receiver? I'm going to tell you everything about who this player is, what he brings to the city of brotherly love, why this could be one of the smartest low-cost moves of this entire offseason, and what Eagles fans can realistically expect from him in the 2026 season. But first, if you follow the Eagles closely and don't want to miss a single update from this busy offseason, hit that like button and subscribe right now, because this channel is your go-to spot for everything Fly Eagles Fly. With the 2026 offseason in full swing, the Philadelphia Eagles front office is clearly not in rest mode. This team, which over the last several years has cemented itself among the most competitive franchises in the NFL, keeps adding surgical pieces to the roster. Moves that cost very little in terms of salary cap space, but that can pay off big if the right pieces click inside the right system. And the name that has just been confirmed as the newest addition to Philadelphia's receiver group is Elijah Moore, a wide receiver arriving at his 4th NFL team, signing a 1-year deal with the Eagles. According to NFL insider Ian Rappaport, the Eagles closed the deal with Moore on the night of Monday, March 24th. At only 25 years old, the wide receiver arrives carrying a relevant production history, but also carrying the weight of someone who has not yet found a permanent home in the league. The big question is, can Philadelphia be that home? Before we answer that, let's talk about the numbers. Over 5 seasons in the NFL, Elijah Moore has totaled 209 receptions, 2,274 receiving yards, and 9 touchdowns. Those are stats that paint the portrait of a capable player, someone who produced at a real level when given genuine opportunity. But they're also numbers that reveal a career marked by inconsistency and by situations that got in the way of his full development. And it's exactly that story that makes this signing so interesting to break down. Moore was drafted by the New York Jets back in 2021, coming out of the University of Mississippi, where he was one of the most explosive receivers in that draft class. In his NFL debut season, he delivered exactly what people expected: 43 receptions, 538 yards, and 5 touchdowns. For a rookie on a Jets team that was as dysfunctional as New York was at that point, that was an impressive campaign. The potential was clearly there. In his second year, even amid the offensive turbulence that defined the Jets organization, he added 446 receiving yards, keeping his name alive on the radar of teams around the league. The major turning point in Moore's career came in the 2023 offseason, when the Jets traded him to the Cleveland Browns. The deal sent Moore and a 2023 third-round pick to Cleveland in exchange for a 2023 second-round pick, a clear signal that teams recognized the wide receiver's value despite his ups and downs with New York. And it was in Ohio that Moore found the most productive environment of his career up to that point. In 2023, he posted 59 receptions for 640 receiving yards, the best individual season of his NFL career. The following year, in 2024, he continued producing with 538 yards in total, putting together back-to-back seasons above the 500-yard mark. That is a level of consistency that many receivers in similar depth chart roles simply cannot sustain. But then came 2025, and things got complicated in a way nobody fully anticipated. After signing with the Buffalo Bills as a depth option right after that year's NFL draft, Moore stepped into a different environment, an offensive system that simply did not have enough room for him. Over 9 games in a Bills uniform, the receiver finished with just 9 receptions for 112 yards on 17 targets, with 0 touchdowns. He participated in roughly 31% of the team's offensive snaps, a number that, for someone with his production history, was clearly frustrating and well below what he needed to showcase his game. According to Ian Rappaport, Moore went as far as expressing dissatisfaction with the limited role he was receiving inside Buffalo's offense. The two sides reached a mutual parting during the season, the kind of situation that, when handled professionally, doesn't necessarily define a player, but that inevitably raises questions about fit and about how someone adapts to different systems. After his release by the Bills, Moore joined the Denver Broncos practice squad and was activated for the AFC Championship game, where he caught one pass for 4 yards before the Broncos were eliminated. So, why did the Eagles bet on Elijah Moore right now? The logic is straightforward, and Howie Roseman has proven time and again that he understands this type of move better than almost anyone. On a 1-year deal, the financial risk and long-term commitment are minimal. The Eagles' general manager has built a reputation for identifying players who, due to circumstance, have recently gone through rough patches, but who, when placed in the right environment inside a system that actually values what they bring, bounce back and produce at a high level. A 25-year-old with a proven track record of back-to-back seasons above 500 yards has not simply forgotten how to play football. Sometimes what's missing is context, system, and confidence. And Roseman understands that better than most. And the Eagles' context might be exactly what Moore needs to relaunch his career. Jalen Hurts, when healthy, is one of the most intelligent and complete quarterbacks in the entire NFL. This organization has one of the most solid infrastructures in the league, with experienced coaches and a locker room widely recognized for the winning culture that has been built over the last several years. For a receiver who openly expressed discomfort with limited usage, playing on a team that competes to win the Super Bowl and that demands the best from every single member of the roster could be exactly the right catalyst for a turnaround. Looking at the Eagles' current wide receiver room, it becomes clear what role Moore is expected to play within that group. A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith are the two undisputed starting names, a duo that ranks among the best in the NFL and that will continue to be the backbone of Jalen Hurts' passing attack. Hollywood Brown is also on the roster as an established third option. Below those names, there is a group of receivers genuinely competing for roster spots: Johnny Wilson, Britton Covey, Quez Watkins, and Darius Cooper. Moore enters that competition with a clear advantage. He carries more NFL production history than most of the candidates fighting for those depth positions. He is a receiver with a proven ability to create separation against defenses, win matchups against linebackers and safeties in favorable coverage situations, and pick up yards after the catch. In the Eagles' scheme, which values versatile receivers capable of lining up in multiple spots on the field and contributing in key moments, he has exactly the right profile to fit in. Will Moore radically transform Philadelphia's offense? Probably not, and nobody is expecting that. But could he be the 6th or 7th receiver who shows up in critical moments of the season, makes the tough catch, comes through on a third down conversion, and maybe even surprises everyone when Hurts calls his number in a playoff game? Absolutely. And that is exactly the kind of contribution that separates elite rosters from ordinary ones in the NFL. What this signing also reinforces is the consistency with which Howie Roseman operates throughout the offseason. He doesn't wait for the draft to solve all of the team's needs. He works on multiple fronts simultaneously, adding depth pieces while building toward the long term, always with a sharp eye for players whose market value has temporarily dropped, but whose talent is still very much present. Moore fits that profile precisely, and the Eagles didn't let the opportunity slip by. And for you, Eagles fans, what do you think about this move? Can Elijah Moore lock in a spot in Philadelphia and rediscover the form he showed with the Browns in 2023 and 2024? Is the winning environment at the NovaCare complex the push he needed to relaunch his career? Or do you think that passing through 3 teams before the age of 26 already says something about this player's trajectory, and this will be just another brief stop along the way? Let me know in the comments. This conversation is too good to let go. If this breakdown helped you understand this Eagles offseason move, drop a like, share it with a friend who's just as obsessed with the NFL as you are, and if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. There's a lot more coming your way. Fly, Eagles, fly.